Hello YouTube, I am Daniel Potter Casperin, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my first and last and only summer 5K race. So I did this race last Saturday morning, 8 a.m. when the race was supposed to start. So it's been, nearly a week before putting this out. First of all, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to my friend who's right now pacing me with the bike, able to mount the camera on the back of the bike, so it's pretty cool to be able to, look back at this footage and, put something out there. Big shout out and thank you to him, along with the police officers who were able to, let the traffic know that we have a lot of runners and walkers, and, kind of just, help everyone be a little bit more aware of what was going on. And, also to the event organizers, people who are volunteering, and, people who are out there helping out, and as well to the other pacer who you'll see some in red. He's pretty busy going back and forth and, making sure that everyone kind of did the course. So big shout out and thank you to that. So for basically the next, just over 15 minutes, you're going to be listening to me talk about day before, night of, or night before, morning up, race, along with talking about other things. So first of all, wearing my cross-country uniform, got my Nike Zoom Fly 3s on. Fun fact, actually, is that the friend who's right now, biking in front of me, I borrowed a pair of his old Zoom Fly 3s and tried them out and thought they were pretty cool, so I wear my Nike Zoom Fly 3s for typically speed workout, but they're not my daily trainers. And my daily trainers are wearing Hoka shoes for the past couple of years, whether the Bondies or the Cliftons, and then my, previous video, wearing my racing spikes, which are New Balance, whether the XC version, the XC7 version 4, I think it was, or the XC, I want to say 5, version 5 or something like that. But, anyways, the 5K course had a fair share of its ups and downs, with some rolling hills, though depending where you're from, they may not be looked upon as hills, but more so as mounds, which is appropriate to say because I ran up, hills that are a lot deeper than this as I start going down one, actually. So a lot of incline, decline. It is very accurate for a 5K course. It's basically all on roads, paved trails, and it's pretty much it. Through some neighborhoods. And the weather was about 70 and cloudy with a lot of humidity. And you can definitely tell how it's very steep going down right there. So pretty good racing weather, actually. Wasn't really that hot. And so projected time, I wanted to run sub 16, kind of leave off where I left off last year, which was very far off, vastly, and I ended up running 17:13.2, 17 minutes 13 seconds and 0.2 of a second, which, other than last year when we do this, it's a local 5K that I've been doing for the past couple summers to cap off summer training, whether, my main focus and concentration was on basketball, or, last summer, like this past summer, focused primarily on running. So my first mile was, I think, just below 5:30. I had my running watch on, so these are all kind of roughly estimated. My second mile was about 5:40, and my third one was, I think, just above 5:30. A tenth of a mile, I don't know exactly what pace it was set for, but it was definitely, I think, sub 4:30 for pacing. At that point, I was already at my 4 feet, just, sprinting, bringing it home, bringing it in. And yeah, so that's really all I got for that. So the day before, I was hanging out with friends at to the beach, hiking dunes, playing other sports like football especially, and kind of swimming around, just, relaxing too and talking and having fun. So that's pretty cool to do for a couple hours. So I mean, definitely not a typical day before thing, though. During the school year, the season is really moving along. I'll, probably go to half a football game or, to make a really nice turn into the paved trail where there's a lot of smaller, if you, call them hills, rolling hills. And, anyways, so during the school year, like I said, I'll probably go to that or, maybe do something the day before I'm hanging out with friends, or I think our homecoming dance is on it's on Saturday in the evening, so that'd be after a cross country race meet, whatever. But yeah, so I mean that was definitely tiring, but here I am still running. And then later on, once we got back, I went to my friend's house, who's now biking to help the pace, and mounted my camera on the back of his bike. Didn't have to really worry about doing any of that the morning of. I could just focus and concentrate on the race at hand. And after that, went home and ate dinner and did some good static stretching. Wish I did the stretching first, but nonetheless, I ate first. Excuse me. And then after that, I, did my regular routine before going to bed, like shower. I do cold showers, which I'm doing for the past probably like 9 months, 3/4 of a year, and haven't had any issues with those. And it's the summertime, it's a lot warmer. It's hot, though not as hot as last summer, that's for sure. Still hot, so those cooler, colder showers feel a lot better. I don't really know how cold it is temperature-wise. I mean, showers cold. I don't think it's necessarily, Arctic cold or any of that, but it's definitely cold. Got 2 showers in the house, and both are definitely cold. But anyways, after doing that and, getting prepared to kind of fall asleep, I did my breathing routine, and then see, I got the water, kind of a quick pitch. I think that's the halfway mark for the race. Kind of splashing that on me. You see, I took a really turn too wide, but got about half of that water in the cup on me, so not too bad, and didn't really lose too much time with steps and form and whatnot. But anyways, good night prayers, and then tried going to bed. Which wasn't too bad, except the well, we can talk about that a little bit later in a minute. Well, a little bit more of that. But anyways, went to bed in my jersey. So the morning of, I woke up, got my brushed my teeth, applying the medications if necessary that I had, wet down my hair, brushed my hair with my hand, dry it off, brushed my hair with my brush. And then, yeah, I mean, my bag was already ready, as with preparation. And, ate my granola bar on the way to the meet, or the race. It's only, locally a couple minutes away, wasn't really much of a drive. Probably about 5 minutes. But, anyway, got there, got my bib. They had a really cool, drawstring bag. Came with a few, with a really nice t-shirt off the show, and then also came with a pen, a notepad, and a few advertisement, like business card like things, and yeah, I mean smoothies after the race were pretty cool too. I actually had two of them, and they had like a whole cooler full, I heard, and they had a bunch left, and I ended up grabbing some for a few other people. But anyways, a little bit off topic, though they were sponsoring. And after that, back to the vehicle, did my breathing technique, and doing my breathing form, for my warm-up run, I think it was between the kilometer and 3/4 of a mile, so probably about like 0.7-ish, as I go down up another steep hill. Pretty cool that, there are some steeper hills I do run up later, similar to this one, but right up the one that I mentioned very early on, and then also this one here is also some of they're longer and probably not as steep as some of the other ones I'm going to run up, which are shorter and a little bit steeper, but I mean, they're nothing I wasn't able to handle or manage. Weren't overly difficult. They were a little bit difficult. And after doing that, I went ahead and did a few static stretches primarily for my joints, and then that did agilities, which form a dynamic stretching, basically like high knees as an example, karaoke, stuff kind of like that. And then after doing some of those, which included, I went from just to get the blood flowing and moving, obviously, and heart rate, pay attention to a little bit more, just a feeling thing. I start off with ones like C marches and walking lunges with twists. A couple other ones to doing stuff like C skips, pennies, which I mentioned earlier. So I did some which were a little bit slower, the later going to ones that were faster. And I believe I'm going to be taking the third to last turn fairly soon. I think this part of the course was kind of a gradual uphill. It wasn't much, small incline. But, yep, you tell a little bit more right there. I think I'm picking it up a little bit just to go up the hill. And then, after doing those, I basically was already there in the line. Just my turn. Went to the other side of the road, but I got a little bit, not really confused, but almost indecisive with going to the other side because of traffic. Kind of following the pace right in front of me, which, it's fine. Eventually, with the next vehicle, I was kept to the other side of the road because oncoming traffic. So the next turn would be, from my perspective, a left turn. But after doing some various runouts, and including like acceleration, race pace, I think there was one where I got on my 4 feet a little more specifically, jogging back. I had about 12 minutes before the race actually started. So, I mean, that, I was there a little bit early, and that's okay, but, after that, kind of basically got to where I am right now. So, really quickly, as I go down this little bit of a hill, I'm going to throw this out, that, I was very nervous the night before. Actually, I'm a little bit nervous right now for some, I don't even know what reason. But nervous the night before, very nervous that I actually woke up a few hours after falling asleep and had trouble completely going back to sleep the rest of the night. I don't think I actually did, which, oh well. Still got a pretty solid 9 hours, though. I mentioned that earlier. And the morning up, pretty nervous as well. Unfortunately, I got into the zone. I'm still very fragile with that, or at least how I was in it the morning of the race. So I got out of it, and some of the other times during the summer with training, I would kind of freak out a little bit, start thinking. I didn't do that as much, if really at all, this race. Just kind of try to get back in the zone, which very difficult, very rare, if even much of a chance to do that, but try to, stay at least generally focused and concentrate as I start making the second to last turn. At this point, it's about half a mile left, so I thought I'd kind of go ahead and throw in a little bit of a surge, but I think I ended up doing a little bit later. Might be accelerating into that right now. be a little bit of a slower acceleration. But anyways, yeah, so unfortunately this race wasn't as I would have liked it to be. But when it was time to go and throw in those surges, I did that, which was very helpful. I just want to also point out that with this was my last run for summer training, because the following week, which would be this, past Monday, we started official team practices. What I mean by official team practices is just that, when we start practicing with the team, you can't do any of this outside stuff, basically. They can now kind of distinctively tell my legs are moving a little bit faster, my feet are making more contact with the ground. Been trying to work on handling, I guess it's like, with summer training, primarily trying to build that often referred to as aerobic base, not anaerobic, aerobic base. So a lot of easy runs, whatever your definition of that. But we did do some strides, or after and before some of these runs, so I would kind of tap into that speed. But otherwise, my legs right now are starting to feel a little bit more. I might be just like lactate building, but also just in general, I think we just passed the starting line, or it's coming up. Starting to feel a little bit more. Legs are getting a little bit heavier. I think it's a good way to put it. There. And there's the starting line. So I got about 1/10 of a mile left. I'm gonna go past the library sign right there. I can really tell. Right now I'm on my 4 feet sprinting. I'm gonna bring it in. I'm gonna make a really tight but good corner, and that's where I'm gonna finish. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And yeah.